A 6'2" champion tells Manny Pacquiao at a press conference that size doesn't scare him. 8 seconds into round 1 he understands why it should have. Las Vegas, March 2008, Thursday afternoon. MGM Grand Hotel conference room. The kind of space designed for spectacle. Tiered seating for 200 journalists. Television cameras positioned on risers. Microphones lined across a long table draped in sponsor logos. Tecate. HBO. Top-ranked boxing. The air conditioning hums against the Nevada heat outside. Reporters fill every seat. Photographers crowd the aisles with long lenses. This is the final press conference before Saturday's fight. The moment where fighters sell the event, where words become promises, where egos collide before fists do. On the left side of the table sits Manny Pacquiao, 5'4", 135 pounds. Simple black polo shirt. No jewelry, no designer watch, no theatrics. He sits with his hands folded on the table, quiet, listening to questions, answering through his translator when necessary. His English is good, but he's more comfortable in Tagalog for complex answers. Freddie Roach stands behind him, arms crossed, watching the room. Manny has been answering questions for 20 minutes. Polite, brief, respectful. He doesn't sell fights with words. Never has. His record does that work. 47 wins, 3 losses, 35 knockouts, 4 division world champion. The numbers speak. On the right side sits David Estrada, 6 foot, 147 pounds. Undefeated, 22 knockouts. American fighter, born in Los Angeles, trained in San Diego under a respected coach. Sharp charcoal suit, diamond watch catching the lights, crisp white shirt. He leans back in his chair like he owns the room. This is his moment, his opportunity. Beat Manny Pacquiao and his career explodes into superstardom. Main events, pay-per-view, endorsements, everything. Lose and he's another name on Manny's record. Another fighter who couldn't solve the problem. He knows this. Everyone in the room knows this. The pressure sits on his shoulders like concrete, but he wears confidence like armor. David has been talking for 5 minutes straight, explaining his game plan, his advantages, his reach, his power, his height, his youth. The reporters write everything down. This is what sells fights. Confidence, predictions, controversy, the clash of certainties. Then a reporter from ESPN asks David directly, "You're giving up significant experience, but you have physical advantages. Does Manny's size concern you at all?" David smiles. Wide, confident, leans forward into the microphone. "Size doesn't scare me. I've sparred with guys his height my whole career. They're fast, sure, but they can't reach me. They can't hurt me. Physics is physics. My jab keeps him outside. My straight right ends it when he gets frustrated and rushes in. I've got 7 inches of reach on him. That's not something you overcome with heart or determination. That's mathematics." He looks directly across the table at Manny, making eye contact, making this personal. "No disrespect, champ. You're a legend, one of the greats, but this is my time. Your size worked at lower weights. At 107 against someone my height with my power and my reach. It's a problem you can't solve. You've never fought someone who uses their physical advantages the way I do." The room goes quiet. Cameras swing to focus on Manny, waiting for the response, the counter statement, the verbal defense. This is the moment where fighters usually fire back, where they sell the tension, where they make Saturday night feel inevitable and violent, where they trade promises that can only be settled in the ring. Manny looks at David, not glaring, not angry, just looks, studies him for a moment. Then he turns to his translator, says something quietly in Tagalog. The translator nods, leans into the microphone. Manny says he respects David's preparation. He'll see Saturday night. That's it. No counterpunch, no threat, no promise of violence, just acknowledgement. Freddie Roach's face doesn't change. He's heard this before. David expected a reaction, expected pushback, expected Manny to defend himself. Talking changes nothing. Saturday we both do our job. Then we know. Freddie smiles slightly behind Manny. He's seen this exact scenario dozens of times. Manny doesn't sell fights with predictions, he sells them with film, with highlights, with results that speak louder than promises. Words mean nothing to him. Only work matters. Only what happens in the ring when the lights are on and the crowd is screaming and there's nowhere to hide from reality. The press conference continues for another 15 minutes. More questions, more predictions from David, more quiet responses from Manny. Then it ends. Handshakes. Photos. Both fighters stand face to face for the cameras. The traditional stare down. David stands taller, looks down at Manny. Physical dominance on display. Manny looks back, calm, still. No performance. No theatrics. Just presence. The photos will show the height difference clearly. David's team wants that visual in every newspaper, every website, every broadcast. Size matters. That's the message. After the press conference, in the MGM Grand hallway, David talks to his trainer. Did you see that? He had nothing. No answer for the reach. No plan. He's just hoping to survive and get lucky. His trainer is more cautious. Don't mistake quiet for empty. Roach wouldn't take this fight if they didn't have a plan. David waves it off. I've studied all his fights. I know what he does. He pressures, gets inside, works the body. But that only works if he can get inside. My jab stops that. We've trained for this exact scenario for 12 weeks. I'm ready. Saturday night, MGM Grand Garden Arena. 12,000 people packed into the venue. The noise is physical. It presses against your chest. This is what big fights feel like. Electric. Chaotic. The undercard fights have finished. Now the arena waits for the main event. For the promise of violence. For the resolution of Thursday's press conference. For physics to meet skill. For size to meet speed. David enters first. Music loud. Lights flashing. Pyrotechnics. He shadow boxes down the aisle. Loose. Confident. Stops to acknowledge fans. Takes his time. This is his night. His moment. Everything from the press conference still true in his mind. Size. Reach. Power. Physics. Mathematics. All the advantages line up in his favor. He climbs through the ropes. Bounces on his toes. Throws combinations at the air. His corner team wraps around him. Final instructions. Final adjustments. Manny enters. Quieter entrance. Simple. Traditional Filipino music. He walks to the ring with purpose. No performance. No showmanship. Just focus. He climbs through the ropes. Says a quick prayer in his corner. Crosses himself. Touches gloves with Freddy. No ritual beyond that. No elaborate routine. Just preparation. Freddy says something short. Manny nods. The mouthpiece goes in. The referee calls them to center ring. Final instructions. Protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands. Touch gloves. They touch. David looks down at Manny. Still confident. Still certain. The height difference is obvious. 7 inches. 12 pounds. Youth. Undefeated record. All of it visible in this moment. Manny looks back. Reads him. Sees everything he needs to see. The confidence. The certainty. The belief system built on measurements and assumptions. Back to corners. The arena reaches peak noise. The ring announcer finishes. The bell is seconds away. David's corner shouts final reminders. Establish the jab. Use the reach. Be first. Manny's corner is quiet. Just Freddy's hand on his shoulder. One word. Box. The bell rings. David comes out behind his jab. Long. Crisp. Extended. Exactly what he promised Thursday. Using his reach. Keeping Manny outside. Establishing distance. Controlling the center of the ring. This is textbook. This is correct. This is how taller fighters beat shorter fighters. Manny moves forward. Doesn't rush. Doesn't lunge. Walks. Steady pressure. Cutting the ring. Making David work. David jabs again. Long. Catches Manny on the forehead. Clean connection. David resets. Circles right. Jabs again. Manny slips. Head movement. Continues forward. 3 seconds in. David throws his straight right hand. The power punch. The one he promised would end it when Manny rushed in frustrated. Textbook form. Full extension. Perfect technique. His height and reach maximized in this single moment. Everything he trained for delivered correctly. Manny isn't there. He's already inside. Under the punch. Inside David's reach where the 7-inch advantage means nothing. Where David's power can't generate because there's no distance to accelerate. Where all that height becomes a liability instead of an asset. Where the mathematics David mentioned on Thursday stop working. 5 seconds in. Manny is in the pocket. Close enough to touch David's chest. Left hand to the body. Short. Compact. No wind up. Just explosion from the hip. Lands clean under David's right elbow. Between the ribs. David's breath huffs out. Not hurt. Not damaged. Just surprised. The punch came from nowhere. No telegraph. No preparation, just impact. Manny exits before David can tie him up. Before David can clinch and reset. Already gone. David resets. Backs up. Tries the jab again. Needs to re-establish distance. Needs to get back to the range where his advantages work. Manny walks through it. Doesn't even slip. Just walks forward through the jab like it's not there. Comes inside again. 6 seconds. Left hook to the ribs. Same side. Same target. Right hand to the chest. Sternum. Both punches short. Precise. Surgical. David tries to clinch. Wraps his arms. But Manny is already pivoting out. Already gone. Like water. Like trying to grab something that won't stay still. 7 seconds. David realizes something fundamental. Something that training camp didn't prepare him for. His reach means nothing if he can't keep distance. His height means nothing if Manny is inside where he can't extend his punches. All the advantages he talked about only work if Manny cooperates. If Manny fights at the range David wants. If Manny respects the jab and stays outside. Manny isn't cooperating. 8 seconds. David throws a wild left hook. Desperation. Trying to catch Manny coming in. Trying to create space. Trying to land something that changes the momentum. Manny ducks under it. Doesn't even move his feet. Just dips. The hook sails over his head. And while David is extended, off balance, committed to a punch that hit nothing, Manny drives a left hand to David's solar plexus. Full body weight behind it. Perfect placement. Clinical precision. Every ounce of power transferred into the exact spot that matters. David's legs buckle. Not from pain. Not from damage. From the signal. The solar plexus punch sends an immediate signal to the nervous system. The diaphragm spasms. The body's breathing mechanism short circuits. It's not about toughness. It's not about heart. It's pure biology. The body shuts down involuntarily. David doesn't go down. His pride won't let him. But he stops. Frozen. His hands drop slightly. His mouth opens. Trying to breathe. Trying to process what just happened. Trying to understand how everything he believed could be wrong in 8 seconds. The referee steps in. Sees David's eyes. Sees the signs. Mandatory 8 count. He pushes Manny to a neutral corner. Starts counting. David nods immediately. Waves that he's okay. But he's not okay. His body is still trying to restart normal breathing patterns. The referee counts to 8. Wipes David's gloves on his shirt. Looks in his eyes again. You okay to continue? David nods. Yeah, I'm good. The referee signals to continue. The round is 12 seconds old. David comes forward again. Has to. Can't let Manny see fear. Can't let the referee think he's hurt. But the confidence from the press conference is gone. Completely. Replaced by reality. By the understanding that Manny isn't a problem that size solves. He's a problem that requires solutions David doesn't have. Solutions his training camp didn't prepare him for. Manny pressures again. Same pattern. Cut the ring. Close distance. Get inside. Attack the body. Exit before the clinch. It's systematic. Clinical. David tries everything he trained. Jabs. Circles. Moves. Creates angles. Clinches when Manny gets inside. But nothing works. Nothing establishes the rhythm David needs. Manny is always where David doesn't want him. Always too close or just far enough. Never in the range where David's advantages matter. 30 seconds left in round 1. David tries to box. Tries to use movement. Tries to make this the fight he prepared for. Manny follows. Pressure. Cuts off the ring. Gets inside. Left hand to the body. Right hand to the ribs. Left hook to the liver. Every punch short. Compact. Powerful. David feels them accumulating. Feels his body taking damage in places he didn't know could hurt this much. The bell rings. Round 1 over. David walks to his corner. His legs are okay. His breathing is returning to normal. But something else is damaged. His belief system. His trainer is already talking. Adjustments. Strategy. Use more lateral movement. Double the jab. Tie him up more. Make it ugly. But David isn't really hearing it. He's replaying those 8 seconds. The press conference promise. The physical reality. The gap between what he believed and what just happened. Round 2 starts the same. David tries to implement the adjustments. More lateral movement. Double jab. Tie him up. But Manny has already solved him. When David jabs, Manny slips and counters. When David moves right, Manny cuts him off. When David clinches, Manny exits before he can control. Rounds 3 through 6 follow the pattern. David lands punches. His right hand connects. Solid shots. Manny walks through them. Keeps coming. Keeps pressuring. Keeps working the body. The accumulation continues. Each round, David's structure breaks down further. His breathing gets harder. His movement slows. Between rounds 6 and 7, David's trainer asks the question, "Do you want me to stop this?" David shakes his head. "No. I can finish. You're taking too much. I can finish." The bell rings for round 7. Manny comes out knowing David is done. Not quit, just unable to solve the problem. Manny pressures. David tries to survive. Tries to hold. Manny works the body. Systematic. Clinical. 90 seconds into round 7. David drops his hands. His body can't keep them up. The referee sees it. Steps in. Waves it off. TKO. David doesn't protest, just backs to his corner. Manny raises his hands. No celebration. Just acknowledgement. Freddie climbs through the ropes. Quick words. Manny nods. David sits on his stool. His trainer cuts off his gloves. No cuts. No swelling. Just defeated. Completely. The kind of loss that comes from being proven wrong. Manny comes to his corner. Touches gloves. Respectful. David looks up. The height difference still there, but none of it mattered. David nods. No words needed. The post-fight interview happens in the ring. The reporter asks about David's size advantage. Manny's answer through the translator is 3 sentences. Size doesn't fight. The fighter fights. I just did my job. David's interview happens in the locker room. He sits on the bench. Ice on his ribs. The question comes. What happened? David is quiet. Finally speaks. I believed everything at that press conference. I thought my size was enough. Thought physics mattered more than skill. I was wrong about all of it. Manny never fought my fight. In his fight, none of my advantages exist. Asked about a rematch. David shakes his head. I'd need to become a different fighter. Tonight showed me I prepared for the wrong opponent. I prepared for a short guy with fast hands. I fought someone who spent 20 years making height irrelevant. Years later, David becomes a trainer in San Diego. When tall fighters talk about their reach advantage, he shows them tape. Manny fights. Floyd fights. Duran fights. Small fighters who made size irrelevant. He tells his students, size is an advantage until you meet someone who learned to make it irrelevant. Then it becomes a crutch. You believe you can't lose because you're bigger. Then someone like Manny shows you that fighting happens in ranges you never trained. One student asks about the press conference. About saying size doesn't scare him. If he regrets it, David considers carefully. I don't regret it. I believed it. That's worse than regret. I didn't know better. I thought I understood what Manny did. 8 seconds in, I understood I'd seen nothing. Film doesn't show what it feels like to have your strategy made irrelevant. The student asks what those 8 seconds taught him. That confidence without wisdom is just noise. I talked at that press conference like I knew something. Manny sat quiet because he actually knew something. He knew size doesn't scare him because he'd solved that problem 100 times. He didn't need to tell me. He just needed to show me. 8 seconds was enough.